So, are you thinking of moving or studying abroad, maybe coming to an English speaking country? Well, if you are, you have a lot of important decisions to make. And one of the decisions among all those decisions is what English language test will you have to take for immigration or university? And in this video, I just want to share with you why I think IELTS is a good option. As a matter of fact, I think it could be the best option for you if you are thinking of studying in university in an English-speaking country or starting a new life in one of these countries as well. And I'm also going to help you discover whether you should take the general IELTS exam or the academic IELTS exam. You know, I've made it my mission to help people just like you find the help and they need for success on the IELTS exam, so that you can go and experience a new life in a new country and get the score you need so that you can get into university or find the job of your choice. So what is IELTS? Well, let's get started, and let me share with you some information not only about the IELTS exam in general, but the difference between the two types of exams and how you can choose the course of action that's best for you. So what is IELTS? Well, first of all, IELTS stands for International English Language Testing System. So this is a test of your English proficiency, and it's used for immigration or for getting into university or starting a new profession in a new country. First of all, it's an international test. It's the same test no matter where you take it, anywhere in the world. So whatever country you're in now, you'll be taking the same IELTS exam, for example, if you're in Bangladesh, as if you were in Colombia or even here in Canada. It's the most popular English language test in the world. It's also the most trusted test anywhere in the world because it's been in existence for over 30 years. And for the last 15 years, I've been teaching students how to find success in the IELTS exam, and it has been consistent. It hasn't changed a lot, and it's still even more widely accepted than it was just a few years ago, because over 11,000 different organizations worldwide in these English-speaking countries accept IELTS exam scores as the standard for immigration and for studying at university. And over 3 million test takers take the IELTS exam internationally, globally, every year. So I would encourage you just on this basis to understand that the IELTS exam could be the best choice for you. But let's look at some other reasons and some other information to help you to make the decision to take the IELTS exam. First of all, the IELTS exam tests your proficiency in English. And it's going to test your proficiency and your ability in listening and in reading, in writing, and in speaking. And whether it's the general or academic exam, one thing that's important to know is it's testing your everyday English, your ability to function in English in your everyday life, at school, and in your profession. And even the academic IELTS exam is not overly academic. All the topics are something that you are familiar with and that you come across in your day-to-day life. So it really is the best test of English. And when it comes to measuring your ability and your capacity to act and function in English. And as I mentioned, there are two types of IELTS exam. There's the general IELTS exam and the academic exam. And although they're very similar, the strategies for preparation are very similar. there are a couple of differences that you need to be aware of. The General IELTS exam is geared towards immigration, work programs, permanent residence, and citizenship. So the English language level that you want to achieve will be a level that helps you function in everyday situations, whether it's going to the doctor or eating at a restaurant or being able to talk about the weather. The academic IELTS exam, on the other hand, again, it's not overly academic, but it's the goal that you have in mind that's important here. If you're planning to go to university or join a professional association or start a new career, the academic exam is for you because of what you're planning to do after you come or arrive in your new country. And so some of the topics, although they'll be very similar, they may have a slightly more advanced or a slightly more formal or academic tone to them. But it's still everyday English and still everyday topics. So it's important to know that when you're preparing for the IELTS exam, you don't have to memorize or learn any special language. For example, one of the mistakes that I see so many students doing is trying to memorize academic word lists or memorize special formulas or try to learn templates and memorize answers to specific questions. This is not the best way to approach IELTS because what the IELTS exam is looking for is that you can function in everyday English, in everyday situations, and that you can do it naturally, confidently, and even comfortably. So the IELTS exam, whether it's general or academic, is not something you study for by memorizing words or special formulas or even getting knowledge about topics that may come up on the exam. It's simply about practicing the skills that you need to be successful. And this is what's being tested on the IELTS exam. You know, you really can't fail the IELTS exam. It's not a pass or fail type of test. It's a measurement, and it measures your ability in English on a scale of 1 to 9. The only way that you can get a 0 is to not take the test. So once you've taken the test, it will give you a really good idea, and the people who are thinking of admitting you to university or thinking even of admitting you to the country will be able to use as a guideline. And it's important to know that if you have a score of 7, this is your designation would be a good user. And if you're thinking of coming to university in a country like where I am in Canada or any other English language speaking country, most universities require a 6.5 or a 7 overall score to get into university. And then you have to have a minimum of 6 in each of the 4 components. For immigration, the score is a little bit lower. It could be a 5 or 5.5. It depends on the country and the situation and the purpose for which you're entering the country. The most important thing, the most important step you can take is to do your homework, do your research, and find out what score the university you're hoping to attend requires, or what score the immigration process requires for the country that you're planning to enter. And again, one of the things that I get asked too is which is easier, the general or the academic? Well, the truth is one is not easier than the other. They just serve a different purpose. And if you'd like more information about the IELTS exam and everything that's involved for each section and each question type, be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I have over 100 videos on everything you can think of when it comes to the IELTS exam, so that no question goes unanswered. And if you do find a question that there seems to be no answer for, it's as simple as following the link in the comments and dropping me an email, and I'll be happy to do my best to help you with your question. Because that's why I'm here. I'm here to support you and encourage you and help you in any way I can to get the score I need. The IELTS is a well-developed system. It's been, again, as I mentioned earlier, it's been developed over the last 30 years. It is unique. It's not like any other English test that you'll take. There are other ones that are very popular, but the IELTS exam is unique in the sense that each exam has to be taken at the test center. Now, you can choose to do a computer-based test or a paper-based test, and if you want to know the difference, just check out my YouTube channel. I have a video there that compares the computer-based to the paper-based. But one thing that's unique about the IELTS exam that you won't find with the others is that when it comes to your speaking test, you will meet face-to-face with an examiner, and depending on the country you're in, this will be in person at the test center or live on Zoom. Another thing that you should know about the IELTS exam is that you need to know the skills for each section and each question type. It's a skill-based test. So it goes without saying that you need a high level of English. Your level of English should be at a high intermediate to an advanced level of English. And if you want help with that, just contact me by email and I'll be able to help you with an assessment that can determine your level of English. So it's a skill-based test. Again, you can't study for it. Memorizing academic word lists, memorizing knowledge about topics or essay templates is not going to get you the best score possible. Okay? It's based on learning the skills. And when it comes to preparation, this means you're not going to be spending a lot of time studying. You're going to be spending a lot of time practicing. So think of preparing for the IELTS exam as something similar to learning the piano. If you want to become proficient in playing the piano, you don't buy a book about playing the piano. You sit down at the piano and you practice. The same as if you want to learn a sport like soccer or football. You don't buy a book and study the rules of football and how to play football. You just get out in the field and kick the ball around. So your preparation involves practice. And again, I can help you with this. Just check out my YouTube channel and you'll find all the information you need about every section, every question type, the strategy and the skills you need for being successful on the IELTS exam. And I want to say one more thing about the system that's been developed with the IELTS exam, and that's that there are two official test centers available for taking the IELTS exam. The first is IDP, and I've included, you can see the website here. I've also included it in the notes. And the other is British Council. These are the two organizations that offer the tests. So make sure when you're booking your test that you either deal with IDP or British Council IELTS. These are the two official developers of the IELTS exam and the two official organizations responsible for providing you with your test. And I would encourage you also to just use these two sites for finding practice questions and all the official information you need. You know, there's a lot of information out there. There are hundreds of people who are giving advice on IELTS, some good and some bad. I hope the advice you find on my YouTube channel is good, because it's all based on IDP and British Council IELTS. So everything that you see and learn from me is based on these official systems that have developed the IELTS exam. So I want to wish you all the best. Don't hesitate to subscribe to my YouTube channel, where you'll find everything you need for success on the IELTS exam. And I wish you all the best for your future in whatever decisions you need to make going forward.